Hello, this is Katie Moore. I am the creator and founder of QC Find Now, and this happens to be Business Tip Tuesday, where I share some of my expertise in online marketing to help grow local businesses here in the Quad Cities. So for today's tip, I will be discussing the importance of social media and how to leverage it to work for your business. So for most of us as business owners, we know in today's standards, it is absolutely required for us to have a Facebook page or some sort of social media platform. If you're not, I'm going to say you need to. But I'm going to safely say that most of us do recognize that as a factor. And in fact, a lot of businesses that I work with locally have no qualms about that. However, when you are coming across what platforms to utilize, because there are so many of them, you really need to start with understanding who your audience is, who your customers are. The more clear you are with who your customers are, it's going to benefit you across the board, not just with social media, but in every aspect of your business. You're going to find a lot more success knowing that factor right there. So if you know your audience and you know it well, then it's really simply understanding which platform matches your type of clientele the best. Let's say you have more of a young audience, then you want to really consider possibly Instagram. If you have a more business professional clientele, then really consider something like LinkedIn. Something that you have more of a factual based sort of following or content, then Twitter is a great one for that. And then also for Pinterest, anything that is, of course, hands-on, crafty, artsy, that scenario, you definitely want to consider Pinterest to help growing a following there. So the better that you know your audience, the clearer and easier it's going to be to know what type of platforms to go ahead and choose to leverage your business with. I will say Facebook is pretty much the universal and safe bet to always start out with. In fact, there's not a single business that I've ever come across where I have not seen it be a good fit for a business. Any business, any type of business can really leverage Facebook to help benefit, grow their business. So the next thing to talk about after you figure out what platform to utilize and what fits is, what is the purpose? What is your ultimate goal with social media? This is something I want to really discuss. Being on a local level, this is kind of a different forefront. So on Instagram, you'll see that there are influencers on there, and it's really all about a numbers game, meaning that they only care about the number of followers that are following them. It's nothing about who is following them, but getting those numbers up. So their aim is to get millions of people to follow them on a regular basis. They don't necessarily care who those people are. On a local level, it is all about the quality of people. So what do I mean by that? I simply mean that, let's take, for instance, a chiropractic office, okay? And they have 100 followers, as opposed to some chiropractic that has 100,000 followers, okay? Let's say that 100 followers are all consistent, loyal customers. They are customers that go and they utilize their services on a weekly basis. That is going to be 1,000 times more valuable than a chiropractic that has 100,000 followers and they're all from different parts of the world, that have never interacted with them, that have never met with him in person or utilized his services. So do you see the difference of what it means to grow your local audience and followers? You need to have that relationship and you need to gather followers that are quality, not quantity. So to compare this to what we have going on here with QC Find Now, our social media fronts have grown majority organically. And the reason being is that I want to make sure that our following is all about that quality, meaning that we have followers that are specifically local to our area, that are very interested in what's going on in our local community and all about wanting to support our local businesses. I wouldn't necessarily be able to do that if my focus being all about numbers and having a huge following. I would much rather keep it personal and intimate with our numbers to make sure our following is who we want it to be, which is interested in our local community and the local businesses that we are serving. Hopefully you are growing your page and you have people that are genuinely interested in who and what you are, but it's all about, hey, letting them know that there is a human, there is a person behind the business, and letting those people that are following you get to know that personal side of your business. So with that being said, you don't want to be utilizing your Facebook platform to only be selling, okay? In fact, 90% of your content, you want content that is engaging and speaking to your audience. Only 10% or less do you want to be selling any of your products or services at any given point. So you'll even notice on our social media feed, in essence, we sell on behalf of other businesses, but in our services, it's very rare that we ever are selling anything on our feeds, because it's all about the content. It's all about growing that relationship with our local community. That isn't to say that you don't ever ask for the sale or present your products to your customers, because obviously you're connecting a need or a want with the people that are wanting that product or service. So you do absolutely need to share your services and products at some point, but it does not need to be the main focus. That's not the spotlight. That's not the purpose of your social media pages. The other aspect too is that you need to be frequent and consistent on your feeds. Now, I know in your mindset you're thinking, okay, I'm lucky to post once a week, let alone once a day, and now you're going to tell me I'm going to need to post multiple times a day. I get it. I understand. I have more than one page, so the idea of me having to post multiple times a day for any of my businesses, it just sounds exhausting, right? And I get that. I totally understand it. It is in fact true. You need to post multiple times a day if you're going to really consider growing your page. And this is because only 10% of your following actually see your post. So that's not a lot of people, guys. And so if you're doing it multiple times, I think the biggest fear that businesses have, or misconception, is that if I post multiple times a day, well, people are going to get annoyed and unfollow me. Well, in fact, those people are not going to see, majority are not even going to see your post. So you're just upping that percentage and hoping that because you're posting more often, more people are actually seeing a post of yours. And that's the different mindset that you need to be in, because it's true. It's not that you're trying to annoy people. And again, if you're not selling, it'd be another thing. If you're like, okay, buy this product and you're posting it 10 times a day, that's insanity. No one wants to see that. If you are literally sharing content that is funny, engaging, informational, things that people want to know about, or inspirational, or what have you, then it's not going to be content that is going to annoy your customers. So think of it in that aspect, and you're going to get more of that presence. So it's absolutely important that you post on a regular basis. At the very minimal, post every day. Whether people are seeing that one post a day or not, this is why it's important. The idea is that when you are posting regularly, so let's say you have a customer and they end up finding you online and they go to your Facebook page. Put yourself in the consumer position. You're looking at a service, and you go on one Facebook page and you see that they posted last November. That's months ago. And then you go to another Facebook page and you see that they just posted that day. And then you're strolling through and you see all the content and you're like, wow, that's awesome, and people are engaging, and you see that they are active and they genuinely have interest in what their customers are in fact posting about, and they're engaging with their audience. And what does that tell you? That to me would say, hey, this company actually cares about the customers that follow them. Immediately gives this mindset that they're trustworthy. And that's the main goal. You want to grow a relationship on your Facebook feeds or social media platforms. It's all about growing that relationship, because in today's society, it's no longer about going to a phone book and finding the first number that you call and seeing that they're available for whatever XYZ and going with that business because they were the first one to respond. Right? It's all about educating yourself as a consumer, because you will Google a business and look on their website. You will look on their social media fronts, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever pulls up. You want to educate yourself. You want to know who that business is and who's running it. And if there's a personal touch to that, if you can instantly feel a vibe of, okay, other people really seem to like them. They have great reviews. They have great platforms. They have an awesome website. They seem like they care about what they do, and they're in a position to be able to have a platform to share to their customers. You're going to be more apt to go with that business, as opposed to someone that when you Google, nothing shows up, right? So it's so important to have that frequency on your posts, whether you're doing it to gain more followers, but it's really just another mark of building that relationship with your potential customers. So if you are posting multiple times a day, you want to also make sure that content is speaking to your audience. So you want to be consistent. Obviously, if you are, let's see, health and wellness, you want to make posts that are inspiring, that are having to do with your diet, or inspiring a diet, or, how it benefits one's body, and coming up with, inspirational quotes and just imaging and things like that. So there's multiple things that you can post on it on any given topic, but you want to stay in that lane. You don't want to be all over the place. You do also, though, keep in mind, because people are craving that personal aspect of a business, feel free to share on a regular basis who you are. Put a face behind the business. Don't be shy to say, hey, this is a picture of me and my family. We're enjoying this local location and we highly recommend them. A post like that will speak volumes, because it's putting that personal touch to a business. It's not going to a page and just seeing, buy this. It's putting more of a personal relationship to that customer, that mindset that, hey, I care about you. I want you to get to know me, and vice versa. I want to get to know you as the customer. So that is the other ultimate goal that you are wanting with your social media. And it's so powerful that you're given a platform to be able to do that, because it's all about the relationship with your customers. I want to bring up the fact that there shouldn't be any excuses. You can, as a small business, come up with a million excuses. Well, I don't have time. It doesn't fit my brand or business to have social media. I don't know what I would post about, so on and so forth. One of my excuses, and yes, is that it's so time consuming, guys. It would take up hours of my day to do my social media, because I am a little bit of a perfectionist, and I do have that graphic design background, so I would be very involved in my posts. But I get it. It's time consuming. So I could come up with excuses of not doing it, but me making sure I have the time set aside to making sure I do that and get it done. It's day and night difference, guys. Okay, so for example, our Instagram, just last November, it was only at 300 followers, and let's see, it's April now, and we're almost at 1,300. So, and again, this is not about quantity, even though it is a numbers thing. It's all about quality, and these followers are legit local people that genuinely care about what's going on in our local community. So, and that is because it is so important about being frequent and consistent with your posts. So I'm in a luckier position, because we actually have an intern that runs our social media and does the reposts on our Instagram and our Facebook. I still design out some of the content, but for the most part, it's all ran by our interns. So yeah, we invest in our social media because we understand the power of it. The other thing too with my mindset is I am super super camera shy. So this podcast or broadcast, what have you, whatever you want to call it, I'm much more comfortable with because I don't like being in front of a camera, guys. I can't do Facebook Lives. I just can't. I've been trying to get over that fear for many, many years. And no matter how much it's been drilled in me that you need to do Facebook Lives, I've avoided it. I've come up with a million excuses. Oh, eventually I'll get there and eventually we'll do that. Well, guess what, guys? We finally did a Facebook Live here this past week, Facebook Live, and it went off without a hitch, okay? Yes, the numbers could be a lot bigger and we will be growing that particular post with some ad campaign, but just organically right out the bat for our first live, it did amazingly. So if you want to grow your page organically, guys, I mean, we got 45 followers in a day. Okay. That wasn't paid, guys. That was all organic. That's incredible. So if you want to grow your following, do some Facebook Lives, guys. I'm telling you, that is the way to go. And so stop with excuses. My excuses, I'm camera shy, okay? So I got over that excuse by, let's pre-record it, okay? So that's what I'm doing. I'm pre-recording. I'm doing a little bit of a cheat, but yeah, the content's there. It's great. It's pre-recorded, so I don't feel the pressure until I get more and more comfortable. Ease into what you're doing. You don't have to just go right out with a Facebook Live. Do some pre-recordings, guys. Get comfortable in front of the camera, in front of a mic, and listening to your voice and seeing yourself on the camera. Take the baby steps, but stop with excuses, okay? I'm telling you the things that work, just like my gurus were telling me exactly what worked for years, and I refuse to still step into that. So do what you need to do to step into these facts. Do Facebook Lives, do videos, do contents regularly and frequently. Be consistent. Be there for your customers. So yes, these are factors that are all true. So please deeply consider what I am telling you, because it's not just coming from me, because they were taught to me, and me implementing what I've taught. I'm just simply reiterating everything that I know and what I know that works, what's been told to me, and I know for a fact works because I've done it. So the other question is, okay, so you are just starting out. Let's say you're just a baby. You just opened your first Facebook page, your very first one, and you don't have any followings at all, okay? So where do you start with that? First, you want to start off, set up a Facebook page if you don't have one. Facebook is the most universal. It's going to work for any type of business. That's a great one to start with. I, at the very minimal, have a Facebook. Okay, as a business, very minimal, have a Facebook page, but I do suggest having two platforms. We happen to have Facebook and Instagram, and I will throw in this for our area here in the Quad Cities. Those are two of the best that you could really essentially do in our area. Depending on if you're more informative, if you're more newscast worthy, I highly suggest Twitter. But the two that are going to go far with you in your local business here in the Quad Cities is going to be Facebook and Instagram. So at the very, very, very minimal, do just Facebook, but at the very minimal, do Facebook and Instagram, guys. So now, okay, how to grow your following if you're starting from ground zero, okay? First of all, build your page, okay? Secondly, make sure when you are creating out your profile and your profile header that it speaks what you are and who you are very clearly. Some of you may not be able to afford a graphic designer, but here's one thing that you can do to help maybe understand what to do for your business and what to put on your business. Simply research, guys. A lot of it is research. I even research to get inspired by ideas for my ads and posts and things like that, like imaging wise. So go research similar like businesses that do have the budgets to have professional polished Facebook pages and things like that. Go and get inspired. I'm not saying steal their imaging or anything like that. Please don't do that. But just get inspired. See several and collaborate and kind of think of, okay, now how do I make this my own? But you're going to get the idea of, okay, that's a great idea. Okay, they took a picture of Maybe it's a salon. Oh, that person in a chair getting their hair done, and then they put the logo off to the side, and the profile picture is actually not their logo. It's, an image of someone's hair all done up, or, an ombre or whatever it is. So go to other Facebook pages, get inspired, get ideas of what yours should be. But baseline, you need to make it clear, because you literally, with anything, whether it's a website, if it's a social media platform, people need to know who and what you are in a second. The first glance that they see your header in your profile, they need to know what type of business you are. You need to vocalize that and make that as clear as can be right off the bat. Secondly, again, start with your posts, guys. Start developing that page. Start putting posts that you may have 0 followers, guys, but start posting, okay? So when people do come to your page and see what you are and who you are, they can see that you care enough, that you are sharing content, and content that speaks to them. That's how you're going to get them to want to be like, okay, I want to follow them because this is a funny post, or this post is really informative. This is great information. I'm going to like this page. Be clear on that. Be consistent. Yes, start with your friends and family, guys. They aren't going to be your ideal client, because you don't want the sympathy buyers, okay? You want legit buyers that need and want your services. So yes, start with your friends, start with your family. Have the first followers, whether that's 20 to 50 to 100, let them be people that know you, okay? It's a starting point. That's the first step, okay? So start with that. And then after that, start sharing your content. Make it shareable. Make it where your friends and family want to share your things that you are posting on. Make sure you're staying in that lane, okay? Don't go way far right just because something went viral and you're posting it on your page. You don't want that. You want to have content that is still in your own lane, but make it so that people want to share it, want to engage with it, appreciate and value what you are presenting to them on a daily basis, consistent basis. So that's going to be the fastest way you're going to grow your page, I promise you. Also, be engaging to other local businesses, guys. If you are wanting to have local followers, be engaging as your business page. You can do that. You can comment on other posts and that as your business page. So do that, okay? Share awesome things and comments or memes or whatever it is on other pages. Be engaging. Another way people are going to find and discover you, because people will be like, oh, what's this? And then once they click on your profile, and then that's the next step, is the fact that, oh, I know exactly what they are and they post regularly and I really like their content. It's that kind of setup. That's another great way to grow your page organically. And then, of course, guys, I know a lot of you don't want to hear this, and honestly, I didn't want to hear it either. I promise you I didn't. Is that you have to pay. You have to pay to play in Facebook. And I know that when Facebook started out in this whole advertising scenario, a lot of people were upset because they knew Facebook to be free. And when, Facebook was transitioning to having paid advertising and that kind of setup, people were just irate over it, which is kind of funny. But I understand it at the same time, because it's like, oh my gosh, another thing I have to pay for. But I'm going to tell you what, Facebook is, if you are going to invest in any sort of marketing, Facebook is one of the giants. There is no other type of marketing that you can pay for to get the results that you can with Facebook. I promise you that. Okay, I don't care what is said, whether it's Google or YouTube or anything. You cannot be as precise with your marketing. As long as you know your audience and you know it well, you can create ads that only specifically are set in front of people that really want your business and services and products. Guaranteed. And as long as those ads are set up properly to inform the customer, you got it nailed down. So the other way to grow your page, to do it on a level that is very targeted, meaning that it fits your audience and you are gathering people that fit your industry, that genuinely care about who and what you are, is to pay for it. I highly suggest if you don't want to pay someone to do this as a professional, then you need to start learning, okay? Because there's a lot to learn, and to do it well, it's going to require you to spend a significant amount of time doing it. Not only just learning it though, guys, it is actually a matter of doing it, because the more expertise you have actually setting up these ads and knowing what works, what doesn't work, that's the biggest beast right there, honestly. Lucky for you, we have spent years perfecting our knowledge and expertise in Facebook advertising. And I'm telling you, I can get you results. I know how. I know all the aspects of what paid ad campaigns can do for a business, and I know how to work them and set them up with my graphic web design mindset and skill set. It just works so perfectly with what I can set in ad campaigns. And then because I'm so geeky, I know the whole science behind it, what works and what doesn't. And I have the software to even leverage that even on a whole different level. And honestly, I don't know any other business here locally that does quite what we do and have the skill set that we do and utilizes the software that we do. So we're in a very unique position that we can help businesses on a deeper level. If you ever are curious to know exactly what we can do, feel free to reach out to us. We're here, we're available. We can talk to you at any moment and go over the exact details of what we can set up for you, come up with a game plan. We can set up campaigns to grow your page. We can share out for promos. We can create lead generation ads, which literally gets the customers to come to you instead of you trying to reach them, which is amazing. That type of platform I absolutely love doing because it does get real results and customers actually going to the business instead of the other way around. Anyhow, I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap this up. It looks like I've reached over the 30-minute mark, so hopefully you're not snoring through this. Being that this is my first broadcast, I don't want to go overly too long. I think there's a lot of helpful information for those that are just starting out, especially just understanding the whole goal and purpose of what social media is, and to understand that it's not just a platform to plaster your sales and your deals and to try to be salesy on. It's all about relationship and growing that quality following. This is what I will end with, is that I hope this inspires some of you and helps you understand and helps you feel like, yes, I can do this. If you need any help along the way, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. I love to help people. This is what I do. This is why I am in the industry that I am in, because I get to help so many different types of businesses and different types of people, and that I really am honored that people come to me with questions and that. So feel free to ask anything that you have on this particular topic, or maybe there is a topic that you would like for me to discuss in the future. I love to take on any suggestions that you would like to hear more about. But this is it for this Tuesday, and I will be back next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.